Hello and welcome to Politalks. I'm your host, Jason Clark, and we're here with Catherina Perez. She's running for Toronto Centre in the upcoming municipal election for Ward 13. Hi, Catherina.
Hi, Jason. Thank you for having me here.
No problem. So I've just got a few questions for you. When did you start your community activism or community involvement and to get into politics?
I first moved into our ward in the distillery district 18 years ago. So being part of that building, I also joined the social committee. And then from there, as my family grew, I moved into Corktown, into a house there. And later, I opened up a business right on Queen Street East called Balloon Queen. So I've had that there for 10 years. And I joined the community group, which was a CRBA. And I also joined the CPLC, the Community Police Liaison. And also being on the street, you get involved in what goes on in the area.
Yeah, that's great, Catherine. So the reason you decided, what was the reason you decided to run specifically for city councilor? Like, of all the other positions, you ran for city councilor.
Well, I first spoke to the replacement councilor, her name's Lucy, and we had a conversation about the issues going on in our area. And she said that, well, we're just a drop in the bucket. And when she said that to me, it had an impact where I said, no, we're not a drop in the bucket. We can be more than that. We can be a wave in the ocean. We can make things happen. So I thought that was a very, very closed-minded way of looking at our community, because we can create changes and we can do that together.
Mm-hmm. That's great. So as you have this drive, this determination, and this this foresight in your approach to this political position, what do you think the role of a city councilor really is, and what do you think you're going to enjoy most about that role?
I would love to bring the community together. It doesn't matter what age you are, what color you are, what sexual orientation you are. We're all human. Mm-hmm. And I think we all have to work at just coming together, working together for the good of the community. Mm-hmm. So it's for the love of my community that I want to create this change and actually bringing people together and stop the dividing that we have. Mm-hmm. So even the income level, that shouldn't matter about your say, because it doesn't matter who you are. You should have an equal say of what goes on in your community. That's
great. So, as you've mentioned, that you want to make sure that everyone has a say in their community, that you have this drive and determination to make sure that people are heard on the same level as everyone else. So this sounds challenging. What do you think are going to be some of the real challenges you're going to face as a result of doing this work?
I'm not looking at if it's going to be a challenge to stop me. I think that whatever we're faced with, we just have to bring everybody together. And it is a huge ward, but I feel I can do the job of bringing people together, getting that community involvement, whether it is in having an office in our community so people can actually come and see me face to face, and whether they have questions or concerns, that we can work on these things together. But even though it is a huge ward, I'm certain that I can do it. And with a great team on my side, I feel we can accomplish anything.
Okay, great. So you don't feel like anything will be a challenge for you? That's wonderful. So what would you say are three of the most important successes of your career that you feel are separated you from everybody else and made you who you are?
First of all, I have a degree in architectural science. So with that requires a lot of discipline. And I also have some knowledge in the development process, and I've dealt with the city on numerous occasions. And for the past 13 years, I also had a case against the city, which has since settled. So that is an experience which is very important, because I realize the importance of protecting our community, even through development and making it work and getting that community involvement. The second accomplishment I have is having a business. And I've been in business for 28 years. And like I said, for the last 10 years, I've had our business in Corktown. And having a business, there's also challenges and experiences you go through running a business, and the city should run like a business. Mm-hmm. It's about saving your money, mm-hmm. right? So that also brings a lot of experience of having knowledge partly in running that city properly for our ward. The third accomplishment I have is having a family. And when you have family, I have 4 children, so each one has a different personality. And it's all about working together and communicating in order to make things happen, in order to lift yourselves up. So I think those are major accomplishments that I have, and also very important, which I didn't mention, is my faith. And having faith is so important, because with faith you can do anything.
That's great. So you're a strong person, you bring people together, you've had many successes in running businesses and things like that. And you're faced with a much bigger ward. You know, Premier Ford has made some decisions that impact our city and particularly our wards. And, you know, there are other decisions that Premier Ford makes that will impact our city. What do you think you can do, or how do you feel those decisions will change your job, you know?
It's a bigger ward. And like I said before, I think that I'm willing to take that on. I can do it. I believe I can bring people together.
Okay, that's great. So, you know, you bringing people together in this much, more big of a big ward, and you feel like you can do it, right? So what do you think are some of the most important issues facing your constituents, in this upcoming election?
Safety is a huge one. And having family, having our friends and neighbors walking these streets, you want to feel safe. And we haven't accomplished that yet. And if anybody says they have, they're wrong. It's not true. So the gun violence that we see, and we've seen it lately, it's not new to our community. And we need real solutions to fix that problem. It's not being done. Another one is the corruption that's in City Hall. We need a responsible government, and we need an accountable government. And I'm living proof with the experience that I've had, and you can just look at my webpage of that, having gone through that experience, is that it's really there. It does exist in City Hall, and nobody should be above the law.
That's great. So how do you feel your citizens can have a better voice, be heard, or be involved in the issues that affect our city?
We need to come together, and that would be through community meetings. Social media is huge. So I welcome anybody to come to me and talk to me. And like I said before, I would love to have an office within our ward so I can be easily accessible to our community.
That's great. So is there anything else that you would like to share, now that you have the opportunity, with your constituents? Or is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear from you. You're welcome to come to our office. It's at 420 Queen Street East. And please also check us out on our Instagram, Facebook, and our webpage for more information. And every vote matters. So please go out and vote on October 22nd and vote for Perez.
Thank you very much, Catherina Perez. And we appreciate your time, taking the time to talk with us today. It's
Thank
great.
you, Jason.
No problem. Thank you for watching Politalks. I've been your host, Jason Clark, and we've been with Catherina Perez. She's running for Ward 13 in the upcoming Toronto Centre municipal election for City Councilor. This has been RPTV. Thank you. Thank you, Catherina.
Thank you, Jason.